Hello, my name is Johnny Binder, General Curator for Cameron Park Zoo. It's always an exciting day at the zoo when we have baby animals born. And today I think we're going to have a lot of fun visiting with our herpetarium staff, which is our reptile department. And we're going to visit with them about our new baby lancehead vipers. Please join me as we step into the wild.
We have an exciting new birth here at the Cameron Park Zoo Herpetarium. What is going on right now is a Brazilian lance-headed viper is giving birth. Right now we'll be able to count at least 10 to 12 babies. It's pretty exciting. What it is a Brazilian lance-headed viper is a South American pit viper that is indigenous to Central South America, or Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. These are a fairly large, extremely venomous snake that we are lucky to be working with here at the Herpetarium. This birth represents the first birth of this species at this facility, and we're looking forward to being able to work with it. This type of snake gives live birth, and she does not lay eggs. Most of what she was able to do is she starts to begin and crawl around the exhibit, and in doing that helps with the contractions of pushing the young out. And so she periodically would give birth to a live baby viper, and then throughout the exhibit there are also some infertile eggs that she was laid that are kind of known as slugs. When the babies are born with these snakes, they're not truly born. It's not a true, like a placental type of birth. The babies are essentially in an egg case that resides in the female, and the embryo is surrounded by the amniotic sac, and still it'll grow around the yolk and absorb the yolk eventually. And so when the babies are actually born, they're born in an amniotic sac, and then they have to break out of that. And so that's the kind of gelatinous mass that surrounds the babies when they're born. What the little yellow masses that are in here are, when the male and the female breed, not necessarily all of the eggs are fertilized, but they all have a form of caloric dedication that they still go to them. So the yolk is still formed, and everything around there is still sort of develops even though there's no embryo, and they are deposited at the time of birth with their litter mates that are alive and that have developed. What we're going to do now is we are going to remove the female that has just given birth, and the gestation of this snake is about 4 to 5 months. And so we're going to remove her so that we can safely start to retract the young from the exhibit, and we will get a count and do a health assessment on the female and all the babies. These snakes have a potential to be extremely aggressive and extremely fast, and they are a very toxic snake that comes from South America. The babies, once we get a full count and know which ones are healthy, and just kind of do a health assessment, we'll separate them, because if we do house them together, they will cannibalize and eat each other. So we have to keep them independently of one another. A lot of times lance-headed vipers will give birth from anywhere from 10 to 50 to 60 babies, depending on the species, the size of the female, and how much food she has to dedicate to the babies, how much fat reserve she's got. Even though that these guys are only, they're less than 24 hours old, they are still a venomous snake and capable of inflicting a bad bite. So we still have to be extremely careful in handling the offspring. You can see they are already pretty snappy. These guys should shed. It'll be their first shed in about a week. And once they do that is when we'll go ahead and begin feeding them. In the wild, they would eat lizards and small frogs and possibly other snakes. Here at the zoo, we will feed them mice. They'll start feeding them on baby mice. We have these Rubbermaid trays that we have kind of retrofitted as a baby nursery. The animals will live in here on sterile paper towels with wadded up moist paper towels to prevent them from desiccating. Since they are a tropical species, it's very important to keep them housed in a humid type environment. And again, like I said, we'll house them all separately to prevent them from eating each other. And one interesting thing that a lot of pit vipers have is this bright yellow tail. The yellow tail is actually a lure. And so the behavior is called caudal luring. And what that is to do is that the animal can hide in the rainforest on the forest floor, and then they will wiggle their tail back and forth, and animals like frogs and small lizards will actually think that that is a worm of some type, and then when they jump to bite it, the lance-headed viper then is able to acquire its prey and eat the frog or the lizard once it goes to try to eat its tail. The offspring, once they are eating and have got a little bit of size on them where they're big enough to ship, we will make them available to other institutions around the country, other AZA facilities.
Well, those of you who know me know how much I love reptiles, especially snakes. So this was one of my more favorite Step Into the Wild editions. I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. Please come out and visit your Cameron Park Zoo as soon as you can. And thanks again for joining me on Step Into the Wild.